North Korea, officially called the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. This country is a little smaller than the state of Mississippi and is home to just under 23 million people. North Korea borders China, South Korea, and Russia, and officially came into existence in 1948 with the founding of the People's Republic. Its largest city and capital is Pyongyang, with an estimated population of 3 million. According to a 2009 estimate, North Korea's GDP is an estimated 40 billion. North Korea is commonly referred to as the Hermit Kingdom and is considered to be a black hole of information on the internet. No outside news reaches North Korea, and very little information from the inside of North Korea is accessible to the outside world. The average North Korean family consists of about 4 to 5 people, and boys are preferred over girls because they are believed to be better fit for most military jobs and skills. Because of the poor social and economic conditions that exist in North Korea, many North Korean women and girls are lured into escaping and crossing the Tumen River to China with the hopes of finding food, jobs, and most of all, freedom. However, in most cases, they end up being forced into prostitution, marriage, or forced labor. Although men aren't subject to the atrocities of prostitution, they are more commonly forced to do backbreaking manual labor. Of course, the North Korean government denies all of this. It does not admit that its repressive and reclusive conditions are the results of its own actions. Instead, it proclaims that North Korea is the best Korea, North Korea is innocent, and most of all, North Korea is great. It tells the citizens that their living conditions are nowhere near as dire as those faced by people in other countries. North Korea takes pride in its army, currently the 5th largest in the world. This army consists of an estimated 1.2 million armed personnel. North Korea's military to civilian ratio is the highest per capita in the world, with an average of 1 enlisted soldier per 25 citizens. North Korea's military equipment primarily consists of World War II vehicles, Cold War technology, and more modern technology from the Soviets. As for nuclear capability, they have enough plutonium material for at least 8 bombs. North Koreans began their nuclear testing in October of 2006 in Kilchu, North Hamgyong province. Because of this, South Korea views North Korea as a real threat and takes precautionary measures against attacks.
When you guys were in South Korea, they had drills for when airplanes were flying over. Did you ever experience any of those or have one of those happen while you were there?
Yes, when I was 6 years old, yes, I heard the helicopter sound and airline sound. At the time, I heard that silent sound. So everybody entered the building or store or somewhere. Yes, so at the time I didn't know that. But my father told me it was it looks like fire drill. Yes, we learned. We learned about. We heard that sound and we practiced drill.
Many remember the deceased Kim Il-sung, North Korea's so-called eternal president, the first and only president of North Korea, also known as the Great Leader. Many people in North Korea still mourn his death. Following Son's death in 1994, his son and heir, Kim Jong-il, took over the role as president. Technically, his deceased father still holds the title as president of North Korea, so Kim Jong-il is known as the Dear Leader. To this day, there exists a cult of personality that was developed by Kim Il-sung during his reign. This has caused the nation to religiously practice a widespread worship of the deceased ruler, as well as the current leader. This is displayed in many forms, ranging from propaganda posters adorning many city walls of North Korea to famous songs, statues, and artwork dedicated to the current and past leader of North Korea. Throughout the years, the propaganda has become so ludicrous to the point that there is even widespread belief that Kim Il-sung created the world and Kim Jong-il can control the weather. Despite all the propaganda and pretty pictures, life for the average citizen is a dismal and constant struggle for survival. The average yearly salary for people living in North Korea is around $1,700 US. Because North Korea has a military-first policy, many of the resources such as food and money are diverted from the civilian sector and are given to the military. As a result of this, North Korea faced widespread starvation in 1995.
There was a time in the late 1990s when tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of North Koreans were starving, and they had to eat grass or tree bark or anything they could find which might be fit for human consumption, because that was their only choice.
Although major international food aid assistance, primarily from South Korea, the United States, and China, have helped abate the effects of the famine, much of the population continues to suffer from lasting malnutrition and poor living conditions. A 1998 UN World Food Program report revealed that 60% of children suffered from malnutrition, and 16% were acutely malnourished. Access to medical care is strictly based on a class system, which means that hospitals that treat the elite class, that is, the families of Kim Jong-il, his confidants, and top officials, are equipped with modern medicine and facilities. Meanwhile, the rest of the population often lacks even basic supplies such as bandages or antibiotics.
Did she tell you anything about how the military is given priority above the civilians?
Well, I spoke earlier about food assistance, which has been given to North Korea. And yes, that a lot of the food aid was, which was intended for starving people, was diverted to the government officials, their families, and to the military.
My name is Im So-yeon and my brother is Im Chok. I am 8 years old and he is 10. We were born in a small coal mining town at Sudong-gu, Kwon-gun, South Hamgyong province. For many years we were happy living with our mother and father, but it didn't last. One day we ran out of rice and corn at home. We couldn't get any more food from the distribution station because it ran out. My mother roamed around, collecting some grass in order to make soup with corn flour. My parents were desperate to find food. They already had sold everything they had. One day my father decided to go to Hwanghae province to get corn because the coal mine stopped operating. We were in such bad shape we couldn't stop him. He asked us to take good care of mother, and we asked him to bring home lots of rice and corn. That was the last time we saw him. Soon after, my mother died from tuberculosis, and my brother and I began to starve even more. We sustained our lives with only grass. Sometimes we begged and ate soup made from corn, and sometimes we ran errands and cleaned. If we were lucky, we would get a leftover bowl of soup. One day, after finding me lying in the mud at the market, my brother decided to steal some food for me. He begged the lady of the noodle shop, but when she refused, he stole a bowl and ran away. He didn't make 10 steps before the woman caught him. She and 2 other adult customers in the store beat him. One day, we finally got